it's going to be important that we're able to understand the difference between the cells that make up animals and cells that make up plants. And so today we're going to continue to talk about the specialized organelles or body parts that we'll find inside of a cell. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Okay, so if we remember, yesterday we were talking about the animal cell, and we identified the organelles inside of the animal cell. Today we're going to start talking about the plant cell and the organelles that can be found there. When we're looking here, if we can remember, the organelles that we found inside of the plant cell were the cell wall, the cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, and vacuole and mitochondrion. So today what we're going to be doing in our notes is picking right up where we left off there. We're going to start talking about the specific job of some of the structures that we find in the plant cell only. So, sorry y'all. So we'll find here that the nucleus, the cytoplasm, the mitochondrion, the vacuole, and the cell membrane, not only are they found in the animal cell, they're also found in our plant cell. Some structures that we didn't talk about yesterday that we will only find in the plant cell are as follows. You may want to have your colors today. Okay. So we're going to talk about the cell membrane. The cell wall. One that we didn't talk about yesterday in our first period class is the chloroplasts. It might be a good idea for you to skip a line between each of these. So the cell wall, remember when we drew the cell wall, we drew it kind of as a large, as a rubbery structure going around, and it's green, okay? And so that cell wall, the purpose of our cell wall is to provide structure to the plant cell. So just like our spines and our spinal cord provide structure to our bodies, if we didn't have that spine, we would be more of a blob. So this cell wall also provides such structure to that plant cell. You'll see that the plant cell is more rigid. It looks more rectangular because it has a stem. That stem goes upright, okay? The chloroplasts that we'll find, they're little green discs. The chloroplasts that we'll find there, those are special because they help the plant cell absorb sunlight. And we know why sunlight is so important to the plant. We want to remember that the plant is autotrophic. In other words, it's able to make its own food. So it's really important that we understand that without the chloroplasts, our plant cell and therefore our plant wouldn't be able to live. So we want to make sure we remember the unique job of the chloroplasts. If you'd like to, you can go back in your notes, and I'll show you the picture in a second. If you like to, you can go back in your notes and find the picture that we drew of the plant cell, and you may want to add some green discs there and label them as the chloroplasts. Okay? Just in case you didn't finish there. So you'll notice that the vacuole of the plant cell is much larger than the vacuole of the animal cell. Okay? And so in our notes, the next thing we're going to write is the importance of the vacuole. The importance of the vacuole. You'll notice that the vacuole inside of our plant cell is much larger than the vacuoles we'll find in the animal cells. And so we're going to answer that question today before we move on and start talking about microorganisms. Okay? So let's ask the question, why? Why is the vacuole of the plant cell much larger than the vacuole of the animal cell? And to answer that question, we need to really think about the purpose of the vacuole. This is a tougher question because we have to think about the purpose of the vacuole. We want to remember that the vacuole, drawing lots of pictures today, we want to remember that the vacuole stores, it's almost like the cell's refrigerator. The vacuole stores water, nutrients, and sometimes waste of the cell. We want to remember that the plant is able to make its own food. Therefore, it needs to be able to store its own food as well. So that plant has to store a lot of its own food and water because it's able to make its own. You see, the animal is able to go out and find their food. Okay, they're able to go out and find their food so they don't have to store as much. So the answer we want to put here is because the plant stores more of its nutrients as it makes its own food. You want to remember that means autotrophic. Move that up for you. Sorry, y'all. Therefore, it requires a larger storage space or vacuole. The animal does not store most of its food in its cells because it has to constantly go and find it. So the animal has much smaller vacuoles. Take some time to finish writing that down. Okay, so we're going to start talking today about the microorganism or the protist. It's important for us to know that a protist is a microorganism, as we discussed yesterday, and we're going to start talking about three types of protists. Okay, these are unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms. So what we'll want to make sure we know here in our notes is that there are three types of protists or unicellular organisms. Unicellular, that root word there, uni, means one, and cellular, of course, means cell. So one-celled organisms, that means its one cell is its entire body. Its entire body is just one cell. Now, you and I are multicellular organisms. There are billions of cells that make up our bodies. Specialized cells that do special things. Like I have specialized cells for my eye. I have specialized cells for my skin and bones and blood. And so we'll see that there are different types of cells in our bodies. We are multicellular, meaning we have many cells. Today we're going to start talking about unicellular organisms, and you'll need to have your colors here because there are three types of unicellular organisms. If you would please draw.
Good morning, LBC. The following students please report to the library for makeup testing. Gemma Isdell, Jira Moore, Keller Noakes, William Hasley, Cody Sharon, Carolyn Breyer.
So we'll need to know about the euglena, the paramecium, and the amoeba. And today we're going to start drawing the picture of our first protist, the euglena. You'll notice the colors that Miss Neville uses here are extremely important. So let's look here. The euglena is green, and this is a plant-like unicellular organism. This means that this one-celled organism, this one-celled living thing, acts like a plant in that it's autotrophic. In other words, it's able to make its own food using photosynthesis. So in our notes, we want to draw a euglena here with a green body. You'll notice it has that green tail here. That green tail is called a flagella. Okay. We also will see an eye spot there. It's going to have a nucleus. It's going to have a mitochondrion, a powerhouse of the cell. And it's also going to have cytoplasm. Okay. What's really important about the euglena, though, is the eye spot. The eye spot is important because it attracts direct sunlight. So the euglena is able to make its own food because the eye spot kind of acts like the attractor. It pulls in sunlight from the sun, okay? So it gathers sunlight in order for photosynthesis to occur. You'll need to make sure you write down that the flagella is what this tail is, and it's a whip-like structure that helps with movement. Today we're going to watch a video. I'm going to send it to you through our chat in a minute. You're going to watch a video of a euglena moving, okay, so you can see how that whip-like structured tail helps it to move. Take some time to finish drawing this, and then I'll share that video with you. Okay, so a reminder that this lesson is being recorded. So if you're not able to see, or if you've not finished this picture, you will be able to in a minute, okay, when you're able to watch the recorded lesson. So let's give you a second, and I want to show you how the euglena moves. If you will check your chat in about 10 seconds, and click on that link to watch the euglena moving. Take some time to watch that video of that euglena moving and watch how its whip-like tail helps it to move. Take another minute to finish up. Zimri, unmute yourself and tell me what you need.